What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Leon from Leon Talks TV. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're delving into a topic that a lot of guys wonder about. What do women really want when it comes to attraction, physical attraction to be exact? We're going to break down the two key male archetypes, the pretty boys and of course the hyper masculine men, and how each one appeals to women differently. This isn't about being an expert, it's about sharing insights and experiences that can help us all understand the dating game a bit better. Chapter 1, the archetypes explained. Let's kick things off by talking about these two archetypes. First up, we have the pretty boys. Think of guys like Justin Bieber. They have the softer features and a friendly vibe, which is a lot of younger women find attractive. But here's the catch. As women get older, their interest in pretty boys tend to drop off. Then we have hyper masculine men. Hyper masculine men. These are the rugged, muscular types, often seen as exciting for short-term flings. While they can be attractive to women, they sometimes viewed as less suitable for long-term relationships because they might come off as emotionally distant. Chapter 2, the evolution of male archetypes from pretty boys to hypermasculine. Let's talk about how some of our favorite actors have evolved in their looks and appeal over the years. A perfect example is Michael B. Jordan. He started out as a pretty boy, but then he transitioned into more of a Chad, while in Michael B. Jordan's case, a Tyrone, and now embodies that hyper masculine vibe. Another character, or so to speak, a great example is Brad Pitt. You see, back in the 80s, he was definitely seen as a pretty boy, but as he hit his 30s in the early 90s, he shifted to the Chad look, which he maintained into his late 30s. Think about his roles in movies like Troy and Ocean 12. Then once he married Angelina Jolie, he really embraced the hyper-masculine look, especially with the buzz cut he sported. What this shows us is how these actors adapt their styles to fit different stages in their lives and careers. They start with that youthful, softer appearance, then move toward a more balanced masculine look, and ultimately evolve into a rugged, confident version of themselves. This shift isn't just about looks, it reflects the growth as individuals and how they want to be perceived in their roles and relationships. So whether you're a pretty boy, a Chad, or leaning into more hyper masculine style, it's all about finding that balance that works for you as you grow. So what do you think about the evolution in looks? Let's chat about it. Chapter 3, the impact of age and relationship goals. Alright, let's break down something interesting about attraction and how it changes with age. You see, when it comes to what women like, age really plays a big role. Younger women, especially teens and those in their early 20s, are often more attracted to pretty boys. These guys have softer features and a friendlier vibe that resonates with younger audience. But as women get older, their preference can shift. They tend to lean more towards the Chads, the Tyrones, those guys who strike a balance between masculinity and approachability. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Hyper-masculine men with their rugged looks and strong presence can also catch attention, but usually more for casual encounters rather than long-term relationships. So if you're looking for something serious, being a Chad or a pretty boy might work better for you. But if you're after something more casual, that hyper-masculine look can definitely turn women's heads. Chapter 4, the psychology behind women's attraction preference. So what's the psychology behind all this? Well, as women mature, their priorities and relationship goals often shift. Younger women might be focused on looks and the excitement of new relationship, which makes pretty boys appealing. But as they gain more life experience, they often start looking for partners who offer stability, confidence, and emotional support, qualities like Chads typically embody. You see, This shift in attraction is all about finding someone who matches their current needs and desire. It's a natural progression that reflects their growing understanding of what they want in a relationship. So, what do you think about these changing preferences? Have you noticed this in your own experience or the people around you? I mean, let's chat about it in the comments. Chapter 5, the dangers of stereotyping. So let's get real for a minute. While it's useful to understand these archetypes, it's crucial to remember that not everyone fits perfectly into one box. Trying to force yourself into an archetype that doesn't align with your natural self can come off as inauthentic. And trust me, people can sense that. If you're thinking about improving your look and trying to decide whether archetype suits you best, weigh your options carefully. For instance, bulking up with 10 to 15 or even 20 pounds of muscle to achieve a hypermasculine appearance might not be realistic for every guy, especially if your genetics aren't on your side. But, however, if you've got those pretty boy features and want to add a bit of edge, there's definitely things you can do to enhance your look, considering growing a beard or opting for a shaved head. Just look at how David Beckham transitioned from that boy band pretty boy vibe to a more rugged, edgy look with a shaved head. It's all about finding the right balance that complements your natural features without forcing you to fit into a stereotype that doesn't suit you. So rather than you worrying about fitting into a specific category, focus on what works for you. Confidence in your appearance combined with a look that feels authentic is what truly attracts people. Just my opinion. Okay, chapter 6. What do women really want? The balance of masculinity and femininity. What do women really find attractive in men? It turns out that women often like a mix of traits rather than sticking to one extreme. Research shows that while women might be visually drawn to a pretty boys with softer features, they really appreciate when these guys also have masculine qualities like confidence and assertiveness. It's all about that balance. Now, here's the deal. Women often see masculine traits as a sign of good genes, but they also worry that highly masculine men might lack emotional depth or the ability to be empathetic. On the flip side, while pretty boys might seem more approachable and trustworthy, it's when they show confidence and a commanding presence that they really shine. Basically, if a pretty boy can bring in some masculine energy, he becomes a lot more attractive for both short-term flings and long-term relationships. So, what does this mean for you? Well, in turn, it turns out pretty boys who also exude traits like ambition and emotional maturity tend to have more success in dating, especially for the long haul. Women appreciate that blend of approachability and warmth with the strength and decisiveness that comes with masculinity. Now, let's move on to another interesting point. Many women are actually drawn to men who have a mixture of masculine and pretty boy features. Also, masculine and soft traits. This doesn't mean that you should be acting overly feminine, acting real soft, overly pandering. It's just about being confident and assertiveness and also having a backbone while also being emotionally intelligent and kind towards women from what women say, and also being kind towards women from what women have said in surveys. Also, studies show that men who can balance these traits, like being decisive yet understanding, are often seen as more desirable, especially for serious relationships. But here's the catch. Extremes can be a turnoff. If a guy is overly macho or lacks emotional depth, that can really push women away. Likewise, if a guy is too passive or lacks confidence and comes across too soft, he might not catch the eye either. Women want that sweet spot where you're strong and confident, but also kind and empathetic. Conclusion. In summary, understanding these male attraction archetypes can really help you navigate the dating scene. Whether you identify as a pretty boy, a Chad/Tyrone, who are pretty much the guys in the middle that have a blend of masculinity and pretty boysness, soft and masculine traits, whether it's looks or personality traits, or the real hypermasculine men. The most important thing is to be true to yourself while also being aware of what women are looking for at different stages in their lives. Anyways, with that being said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Have you noticed how these archetypes play out in your own experience? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insights. Until next time, take care and keep striving for growth. Peace out. Salute.